This is part 2 of my Wes/Amanda scandal news episode. If you missed part 1, go back into the feed and you should find it there. If you would like these episodes ad-free and to help support me as a creator and podcaster, you can head to patreon.com/Bravo and Botox. And for $3 a month, all of it, 100% of it goes back towards the show and kind of keeping me going and able to do this. Yeah, you can get all the episodes every month for free. So yeah, check it out if you want. And enjoy today's episode. Welcome to the Bravo Papers, a safe space for all us Bravo fans who love to analyze, deconstruct, and talk about our favorite Bravo shows ad nauseum. So join me, Bravo and Botox, and we'll catch up on all the Bravo news and read way too much into our favorite shows and Bravo celebrities. All right, so let's jump right back in. So after that statement was released, people were obviously tracking followers and all that, and follows, I should say. So Sierra unfollowed West and unfollowed Amanda. And I think vice versa, although it could be just that Sierra blocked them. So then it would look like they're not following her. I mean, I don't know what reason they have to not follow her. And then Sierra was spotted and a picture was sent to Dumois of Sierra in the meatpacking district right when the Amanda and West posted confirmation of right when they posted confirmation of their relationship. And she's like sitting on the ground and like kind of looking sad, and someone's like kneeling over talking to her. But then she's been seen since then, like with her friends, like walking around New York, like just looking, normal and like not like upset or anything like that. But again, I'm sure you're not going to like when people are watching, you're not going to like walk around crying, etc. But yeah, so hopefully she's doing okay. I think even if she's not right now, she will be. She will be for sure. Lindsay posted some shade that I loved, which was the picture of the super long-winded guy from Love is Blind. So if you watch the most recent Love is Blind season, what was his name? I always forget the Love is Blind people's names like the second the show ends. Alex, I think was his name maybe. But he was just like, he would do these crazy like word salad type of answers where he would never get to the point. And then Lindsay posted a picture of him and then it said on top, the new publicist. Like, yeah, exactly. Because of that, it was just the most like long-winded way of saying, yeah, we're dating. It's true. Right. And then, the cast is obviously like posting their support. Like Mia posted a picture of Sierra. Even like Vanita from Southern Charm posted, imagine making a statement hard launching a connection and and not even considering apologizing to the person you hurt. But I guess that tracks. And yes, that was my other big issue with that stupid statement was like, you didn't even say anything about Sierra. Like, how are you not going to mention the person that you've betrayed and hurt and stuff like that? And it's just if we're going to go back to the similarities to Scandival, I mean, remember Tom Sandoval's first time making a statement after everything happened where he didn't even mention Ariana. Was that him or was it Raquel? One of them, I'm pretty sure it was him, but he put out a statement and he didn't even mention or apologize to Ariana, and people were livid. And then I think he put out like a revised or like update statement, but it's been a couple days and I haven't seen anything. So it's like, it's crazy. Like, to not mention her is insane. So KJ posted a picture of him, Mia, and Sierra and said, I love my big sisters for life. I love them. I love the three of them. I love Mia. Mia is like my favorite new cast member in a long time. I just love, like, she's even like, even though I know she's not going to date any of these guys, which actually I love that about for her. Because she already has this boyfriend, whatever. But I just love how she has got the personality. Like, she has a reality TV person. Like, she's made for it. She's outgoing, like she pops on screen, she's hilarious, like she has the right kind of commentary, good facial expressions and reactions, like she's got it. And KJ is just like, he's just an actual nice guy. Maybe I'll be eating those words because a lot of times with men, you think they're good and then you're wrong. But I actually feel like KJ is kind of like who Wes tries to portray himself to be, but he's not. Like Wes tries to portray himself to be this like nice guy, quote unquote, but he's not. He's really, really not. But love them. Okay. And then another big thing that happened after was that Eddie, is it Edie or Eddie? I think it's Edie. Edie Parker Flower seemingly deletes and replaces Amanda's campaign. Well, not seemingly, they did. So they had just before the announcement, they posted a picture of Amanda and she had done like a campaign with them. And again, it was like 15% of the sales goes to what's it called? Sorry, I can't see it. Last Prisoner Project, like goes to like a charity, etc. So she had done this campaign. It was for a good cause, and it was kind of like these like sexy pictures of Amanda like smoking weed or whatever. But then they deleted it because of what happened soon after, and they wrote in there, and they just posted like someone else wearing the shirt, and then they wrote, "A lot can change in a day. Same shirt, same great charity, new model." That hurts. And a lot of people were like, oh, like, this is like what she did was wrong. What Amanda did was wrong, but like she shouldn't be losing sponsorship. Shut up with that. That is again, one of those opinions on the internet that is driving me crazy. Of course she should be. Because when you're a public figure, the reason they hire you is because you are liked or because you have the right image that goes with their brand, and they are hoping to sell more and make profits based on you. So if you screw up your image, and again, emphasis on you screw it up because she screwed it up for herself. This didn't happen to her. Okay. She did this. Okay. So let's stop pretending like putting everything in this victim. I'm like talking to like an imaginary person. I'm talking to like the people on the internet right now. But that's your own fault. You have screwed up your image, and therefore the brands have every right to break a partnership. They have every right to not sign with you the same way they had the right to not sign with Jax, to not sign with Tom Sandoval, Raquel, Jen Shaw. Like the list goes on and on. You're like, that's just how it is. You can even be on a show and be super popular, and the show can be popular, and you cannot have done anything that egregious, and brands can choose not to partner with you because they don't like your image, or you have a low Q rating or whatever. And like it pisses me off so much when people are like, that's not fair. It's absolutely fair. That's actually what the free market and capitalism is built on. People can choose to put their dollars where they want to put them. Brands can choose to support and not support based on their brand image. Like that is what capitalism is. Okay. People lose jobs in the real world for affairs. If a boss is having sex with a lower employee and they get caught or something like that, they can lose their jobs. Yes, that can happen in the real world. Okay. This is the real world. This is their jobs. Okay. Okay. So Mia unfollowed Wes and Amanda. Yay, Mia. Then what else happened? So then we got some updates from TMZ, kind of confirming that cameras are not going back up amid the drama, but the reunion is still set. And by the way, it was like literally the next day after Amanda and Wes put that statement up that Andy was like, "Hey guys, I'm getting ready for the Summer House reunion. Tweet me your question." And it was just like, since the Vanderpump Rules one, I have never seen so many questions, comments, likes on Andy's post. So according to TMZ, Summer House cameras aren't going back up, and the reunion is still on track despite the reveal that Amanda is now dating Sierra Miller's ex, Wes Wilson. I mean, I think dating is a stretch, but okay. Sources with direct knowledge tell TMZ there's been no talk, at least for now, of resuming filming to capture the fallout between Amanda and Sierra following the relationship reveal. We're told production isn't taking a Scandival approach here. Unlike Vanderpump Rules, where cameras famously picked back up, Instead, our sources say production is sticking to its original schedule with the reunion set to tape in 3 weeks and no plans to move it up. The messy love triangle feels awfully similar, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So, I mean, I'm kind of bothered by that. I'm not going to lie. Like, we picked up cameras for like Craig and Paige, which was like so like nothing compared to this. Like, why are we not picking up, like, we picked up cameras for like, what was the other dumb thing they picked up cameras for? There was something on OC. Was it Jen's Ryan with the whole thing? I don't know. Something happened on OC where they picked up cameras. I don't know. And everybody was like, why are we doing this? Yeah, this was dumb. Like, I think we should be picking up cameras. And I don't know. There's a part of me that feels like, I don't know. This is like maybe me being extremely skeptical. Maybe I'm over analyzing. I don't know. I just feel like feels sort of unfair and it feels kind of like anti-Black to me because it kind of feels like we are ignoring the level and depth of pain for, in this case, Sierra, the Black woman in this case. And it's like, is her hurt and stuff like not worth picking the cameras up again? Like, I feel like if it was reversed and like Kyle was having an affair with Sierra and Amanda, like, I feel like they would be picking up cameras. I don't know. There's a part of me that just feels like it's not being taken as seriously as it should by the network. And granted, I don't know what's going on behind the scenes. I don't know what the reason, like maybe there is a reason. I have no idea, but I don't like it. That's what I'm going to say. Okay. Get those cameras up. This is my show. This is what the show is all about, drama. Get it together. So, okay. So here's another story that came out since since Amanda and Wes confirmed, which by the way, I had a great day. Like, sorry, Sierra, but I had a great day doing all the I told you so's. It was fantastic. That was one of those I told you so's that I really took pleasure in. Okay. Me and Sel from Who Asked Sel podcast, by the way, we've been talking about Sierra, sorry, not Sierra, about Amanda and her like mean girl ways, and Paige as well for years. Okay. And no, we didn't like and just like we discussed on Threads, you can find our conversation on Threads. I think I posted it in a Twitter roundup. Like, even if we didn't always agree with a choice or an action that Sierra made in the past, in regards to Lindsay and all the past drama that they had, it doesn't mean either of us thinks that she deserves this. But we've always been on the like, these girls are kind of faking this whole girl thing, and their actions just don't align with what they say they are. Right. So having this moment, I'm not going to lie, I took a little bit of like pleasure in it. Okay. Not pleasure that Sierra was hurt, just pleasure that I was right about Amanda. Okay. All right. So according to page 6, Sierra is betrayed and heartbroken over this, which, I mean, obviously. So a source told them that Sierra is heartbroken. She and Amanda were very close and she feels more betrayed than ever by both of them. The insider also shares that Sierra and West were casually seeing each other and seeing if things would work out again recently. So that's the other big thing. Okay. But again, when this story came out, it hadn't like really like this part of it with them seeing each other recently hadn't really taken hold. And then more details came out, and I'm going to get to that later. And that, noting that his bond with Amanda feels like a deeper betrayal. Sierra cut off both Amanda and Wes after finding out. She's furious at Wes, but even more hurt by Amanda. Disappointed, doesn't even cover it. This is just so much more to Sierra than just breaking girl code. Okay, y'all, I've got some exciting spring news for all of us to get us out of the winter slump. Way Day is coming up at Wayfair. From April 25th to the 27th, you can score the best deals on everything you need for inside and outside your home for spring, summer, and beyond. And the best part is that on Way Day, everything on the site ships fast and free. And if you're wary about shopping for decor and big furniture online, you don't have to be, because the Wayfair verified items means that a product specialist has used a 10-point quality inspection process, so you know you're getting a quality piece. So my house has always been more of a modern farmhouse kind of style, but I'm kind of over that and trying a more classic traditional style. And because of all the handy and specific filters on Wayfair, I've been able to find some perfect decor pieces to help redecorate my home. And with the thousands of reviews, many with pictures, it's so helpful so I can visualize pieces in my space. I got this beautiful floral vase and faux tulips, plus some new fluted candle holders, and they just look gorgeous on my console. Wayday is the sale to shop the best deals in home. We're talking up to 80% off with fast and free shipping on everything. Head to wayfair.com April 25th through the 27th to shop Wayday. That's WAYFAIR.com. Wayfair. Every style, every home. Yeah, of course it is. Because she had opened, like I said before, she'd opened up on the show about the racial aspects of this. And I do think that you opened up to them and they sat there and listened and pretended that they were like a supporting ear. So that does make this all the more egregious. Um, Now, other source from People says that West and Amanda kept this very secretive and were openly lying about it. So yeah, I mean, that's a lot like the Raquel Tom thing, right? Like they were openly, it was like an open secret in the sense that it felt like they were flaunting it in some ways. Um, so, according to a source close to the Summer House cast, which forced everyone else to piece it together over the past few days, just like the rest of the world. A source tells People that most people on the cast did not see Amanda and West's relationship coming, and many are still in the dark about what has actually happened. Batula and Wilson kept this very secretive and were openly lying. Like I said, there's a lot of hurt, confusion, and feeling of betrayal among the group. And if you guys didn't know, Carl's a mess. Okay. Most importantly. That was Kyle was so why did he say that? Like it's just he's like doing this street interview for like 7 hours. And they're like, how's the friend group doing? And Kyle's like, oh, everybody were just really upset about it. Carl's a mess. It's like, why is Carl a mess? I can understand Carl being really upset. And I think that's what Kyle was trying to say, but it's just like Kyle can be such a drama queen, as we have seen time and time again on the show. He's so dramatic sometimes, which is again what makes him a really good reality star. Him setting up this street interview and spilling so much tea and details literally like a few hours after this broke. It's just such a Kyle thing to do. And again, it's why him and Lindsay, I'm sorry, it's why they are and have always been and will always be the king and queen of Summer House. Those two just, they understand what they're doing. They understand this job. They have no, they don't have like, what's it called? What is it that Stassi said about Kristen? They've had like a shamectomy or whatever. Like, it's like they're just like, we're going forward. Like you can always count on Kyle to spill some tea. He's like Austin. He's a gossipy gossip. Okay. Um, so yeah, so then another thing that gets revealed by TMZ, of course, is that apparently Kyle was kept in the dark about this as well, which I think we all kind of knew anyways, but I guess it was just like getting confirmation. But basically, he had approached them multiple times and said that they continued to deny it. So this is according to a source from TMZ. So sources close to the group told TMZ all the buzz about Bravo stars Amanda and West possibly being a thing was still speculation to Amanda's ex Kyle, even to up as recently as this weekend. So that would have been last weekend prior to Easter weekend. The source also tells TMZ that basically Kyle says he's okay, it doesn't really bother him, but then keeps circling back to the topic, talking about it again and again, and harping on how unhappy he is with the situation. Yeah, that sounds like Kyle. I could see that. So while most people are reportedly siding with Sierra online, we're told Kyle's also been deeply affected by it, especially after spending a decade with Amanda and it being heavily covered on the show. Sources believe Kyle finally got the truth after returning to New York, possibly explaining that cryptic post he shared with Sierra earlier this week. Yeah, because he had shared a picture of him and Sierra, like I talked about on the last episode. So a lot of people took that as confirmation. I mean, listen, Kyle is not a complete moron. Like I think he like myself and many others, when all the clues are stacking up, he has eyes, he can read, he can see the internet. Like, I think it's like, okay, I'm going to call a spade here. Like, I don't think it's like so crazy for, for Kyle to believe it based on what he saw online. So, yeah. And listen, I don't want to downgrade Kyle's hurt in the situation because West was his friend, Amanda is his ex. However, big however, I do think that this is, although he's maybe upset about like the relationship aspect of it and like the Amanda betrayal aspect of it, and even like the fact that they were playing in his face, like that's not gonna feel good for anybody no matter what. But I do think that this situation is, it is kind of good for Kyle. Like, this is kind of like the best day of Kyle's life, if I'm being honest, like the day this came out. Like, there's renewed interest in Loverboy. There's a lot of goodwill towards him online. He's getting some pity and people feeling sorry for him. Biggest of all, he's no longer the main hated focus of the show. Like, he was the one, he was like the quote unquote bad guy this season. And he was sitting back watching, and maybe he was suspecting things because based on this TMZ article, he had before this questioned the two of them. So he's sitting here, getting the villain. I don't want to say the villain edit because he did it to himself, but he's sitting here with everyone focusing on his bad behavior, which, by the way, he still deserves. And no one, but he's like, and West is being praised as like the hero when West's bad behavior is just going kind of unnoticed and literally being praised as heroic behavior. And again, that doesn't mean that Kyle's behavior was good in that situation. He still should not have reacted like that. But it's kind of like when you look back on it, you see that actually they were both behaving badly, just in different ways. Kyle was like loud, yelling, swearing at his wife, which he shouldn't have done. But West was making out and hiding with his friend's wife, which, by the way, I guess this kind of reveals to you all that I think this has been going on since last summer at least. But anyways, we'll get into that. But on top of that, he was being like manipulative and secretive. And the reason that he's barking at Kyle to apologize and like being like, just say sorry, is because he's banging her. It's not because like he's, some hero trying to come to the rescue of the woman or something, which is how he's trying to portray himself to be. And Kyle did point that out in his street interview, which I agree with him. Like, again, it doesn't excuse his behavior, like Kyle's behavior, but it sure as hell explains Wes. Because a lot of us were thinking that he was like doing the right thing and like being a good guy, and he just wasn't. So, like, it is so crazy. It's so crazy to like how, like, no pun intended, but like the two of them were just fine with like letting Sierra look like a fool and playing her, and also letting Kyle just be the bad guy while they were out there just like having a great time. Like, it is really messed up. And again, still Kyle's fault for the yelling and stuff. He still made himself look like the bad guy, and it's still not okay. But two things can be true at once, right? Kyle could have been jealous of her closeness with West for a valid reason, because maybe there were clues. And listen, I think when your partner's cheating or they have feelings for someone else, I think most people can sense a shift. The person becomes more distant, etc. And especially if the person that they're cheating with is around, you notice maybe a level of flirting that isn't just like friendship, funny stuff. And Kyle probably sensed that. And then, as Kyle does, he gets hammered, which he always does on the show, and he blows up. And again, that's his fault, but it doesn't mean that the flirting, that him seeing the flirting wasn't true. Should be in control of his reaction to it. Certainly that's on him, but it doesn't mean like those two things can be true at once. Like, I do think he saw, quote unquote, saw something. I don't think it was in that moment when he said F you to her. I just think that probably it had added up over the weeks over the summer, and, he lost it. Okay, so where was I? So let's talk about Kyle Street interview in a little bit more depth. These were kind of the main takeaways. He's pissed because West was like coming off as a hero the whole season when meanwhile we kind of, he was like looking like the bad guy, in terms of like he's treating Amanda poorly, which he says in the video. Again, this doesn't excuse my actions. I was wrong, etc. But he also is like, yeah, but it just pisses me off that like West was like kind of capitalizing off that and like trying to make himself look like he's like stands up for women and all this stuff when in reality he's a liar who's playing multiple girls and sleeping with multiple girls at once, etc. Which, yeah, I mean, that is true. I mean, I'm sure Kyle is kind of doing that too. Or there's been a lot of rumors about Kyle hooking up with other girls while he was married. So again, he's not innocent or anything, but he's not wrong. Okay. The other thing that Kyle was really pissed off about in this street interview was West gaining followers. And this seemed to be what pissed Kyle off the most. Kyle is, at the end of the day, an entrepreneur and a business minded kind of man. So I think he sees like the equity in followers. And I think that's what pisses him off. Like, I think he's like, why am I not gaining all these followers? Like, you know what I mean? But again, it's Kyle's own fault because this is the thing. He's so impulsive sometimes. Like, he goes and does this interview like 5 minutes after the statements come out. You need to breathe and wait a second because although West did jump a bunch of followers initially, they are now declining. Okay, because I've seen there's a couple accounts that are kind of tracking it, and Sierra's are continuously climbing. That is actually usually how it goes. People followed Tom Sandoval too, and then it declined. A lot of people follow because they just want to get the tea and the drama, and they just don't want to miss anything. And maybe they think like they're dumb and they think West is going to post more than that one statement or whatever. A lot of people follow because of that. A lot of like media people will follow as well, like that kind of thing. But I guess he was like, well, Amanda's losing followers. But Amanda also had more followers. You know what I mean? So like he had 450,000 or something and she had like 1 million. So, it could be just that like a bunch of people unfollowed who already didn't follow West, and then a bunch of people who already followed Amanda did follow West. Do you see what I'm saying? I know I'm not good at math, but that's what I'm saying. But anyways, Kyle doesn't need to worry. Okay, Kyle, if you're out there, West followers are falling. Okay, because that seemed to be like literally what he was the most mad about. But I do think that is tied in with his anger about how West was like trying to portray himself as like the hero of women and standing up for women last season. And I think Kyle always knew that was bullshit. So he was kind of like, so to see him also gaining followers was like, lemon on the salt on the whatever the saying is. Okay. So I do think that had to do with it. The other thing that Kyle harped a lot on in his interview was Amanda's mental health. He refers to her as fragile and all that stuff. And listen, I'm not trying to say that Amanda hasn't had mental health problems or that isn't real. But here's the problem. He also makes reference to in the interview about how he's been, quote unquote, taking care of her for the last 10 years. This is the problem. This is the problem. Amanda is a full grown adult, mental health issues or not. Okay, I am also someone who struggles with anxiety and depression. I am also on medication for it, diagnosed, all that stuff. I'm not just saying that flippantly, it's true. You are a full adult. Mental health issues or not, you're responsible for your actions. And this is exactly what I'm trying to say before about her being coddled. I think seems like she was coddled by her parents, then coddled by Kyle, and he has been coming to her rescue. She has treated him like a father figure since the start of the relationship. Case in point, okay? When her and Kyle became more than a fuck buddy situation and they actually started dating and she was coming to the house, Lindsay didn't like Amanda, which, of course, my girl's on the right side of history. Anyways, but Amanda cropped her out of a picture with Danielle, which, fine, it was mean. But people in the house were not, in general, it wasn't just Lindsay, but a few people were just not being as like nice or welcoming. And what does Kyle do? He sends one of the most famous from the Summer House lore, if you haven't watched all the seasons, 17-page email or 14-page email, it was one of the two, to everyone in the house, lecturing them about being mean to Amanda. And now here we are, 10 years later, they're not even together. They're separated. And he's still on a rant in his street interview lecturing us all about being mean to Amanda. There was another one too. So that a lot of people might not remember, but I remember, okay? Because I think a lot of it was directed at me, was the season where they were being mean girls to Lindsay, the miscarriage season, where Paige said, "Oh, what is this, a brothel?" And then Amanda was like, went up to her and confronted her about her miscarriage, and people were pissed, okay? And people were going in on Amanda, myself included, in my Twitter roundups. And Kyle made a comment on, I can't remember what account, like one of the Bravo accounts. And he was like, everyone needs to calm down. The hate is getting out of control. Leave Amanda alone. And it was like this big lecture for all of us about Amanda. Again, he's always like come to her rescue, and he's doing it again. And I mean, I don't think it's really it's not working. Like, she tried the whole like tears, mental health. It did work on some people, but for the most part, it's not working. But also, you know, if these two are going to separate, they need to really separate. Like, she's not your child that you have to take care of. Okay. She made this decision and she's going to have to like eat it. That's it. Like, and it's just, and I think Kyle needs to move past that. Now, that being said, a lot of people think they're going to get back together because of this, that it's going to be like, you know, they're going to try to spin it as like West is like this evil guy who, which he is, by the way, but they're going to be like, West is like this evil guy that manipulates women when they're at their most vulnerable and takes advantage of them. And that's why she's separated from Kyle, because she fell into his trap. But now that she's been shaken out of that, she realizes that, you know, whatever, and they're back together. Could happen. I would not be surprised. That being said, it would be a terrible choice for Kyle. Kyle, hopefully, I don't know if his business mind will go in this direction, but he's been getting a lot of support for Loverboy, as I mentioned. Okay. He even put up a video addressing everybody, saying thank you so much for, like, I've had an outpouring of interest, questions about buying Loverboy, about buying merch, about, you know, new flavors, about this. And, you know, and then he says, the problem is I have no money to produce new flavors and to do that. And what I need is people to like buy Loverboy, ask for it in their stores, in their local stores, to buy the merch, like all this kind of stuff. So, and people are doing it, right? And then they made like a Carl's a Mess hoodie, blah, blah, blah. And lots of people are buying them. And Kyle's like, thank you so much, etc. And like thanking people. And he's like even put up an Instagram post with like a slide deck of like how a slideshow of like, or carousel of like, here's ways you can support Loverboy, right? In addition to the video. But I hope that Kyle knows the second he gets back with Amanda, all that is over. No one will be buying Loverboy. It'll whatever trouble they were in before they'll be in even deeper trouble. Okay? People, it will be declining. No one is going to buy it. No one is going to support. Like, he can just kiss the company goodbye. So he needs to be very careful. Just saying, because that's true. Okay, so one of the biggest things to come out of this is like the fact that, you know, people were like first just so obsessed with like figuring out if Amanda and West were together and how long they've been doing this, etc. And again, I stand firmly on at least since last summer, if not longer. Again, go back and watch this season of Summer House so far and all the episodes. There's just too many clues. I talked about some in my part one of this episode. One I forgot to mention is that scene where West goes into the bathroom to like check on Amanda. People noticed that he has a sock. Like, he takes a sock into the bathroom with him and then brings it out with him. And you see him like put it in his pocket. And people are saying that he used that to cover the mics and so that they'd be muffled and you couldn't hear anything. And then people like slowed it down and cranked the volume up and blah, blah, blah. And it does seem like you can hear him saying like, calling her babe or like love you or something like that. And it sounds like they kiss or something. So this is really like, the sleuthing has gone like next level, but honestly, it's not wrong. Like, yeah, like people have gone crazy and they're looking for any clue, but like the signs were there. Okay. But the other thing is like, how many other women was West hooking up with? Okay. Besides maybe also Sierra. Okay. So, you know, there was this that I reported on a while ago on this show, which was that West was seen at corner, and this was after the initial rumors came out, like way back, right? Well, not like that long ago, but like a month ago. It was West Wilson was at Corner Bistro on a snowy New York City Sunday for the NFL games. And then West left with some brunette that he had been sitting with at the table. And a lot of people were like, well, this proves the Amanda West rumors untrue because he was seen with someone that wasn't Amanda. And, and then some people were like, maybe it was Sierra because you really can't see like anything of the woman, just like a big winter jacket, boots, and sweatpants. You can't see their hands, their face, nothing. So there's kind of like an update on that one. Okay. Because then I guess Dumois got an update. The update says, West updates his New York City girl, and then the name is blacked out. The one in the Corner Bistro post has been seeing him for almost 2 years. Wow. Super connected to his inner circle outside of the show, has met his parents, basically openly dating her. I have on good authority she feels really blindsided given they were still very much together as of just 2 weeks ago. Okay. And that is just like one of many. Okay. Like somebody else wrote in to Dumois, since you post, and again, I know like everything Dumois says isn't always accurate or correct, but I mean, she was right in this case. And I mean, I have no reason not to believe that West is dating and banging girls all over New York City and lying to them. Okay. If anything, everything that's happened has proven that that is more likely to be true than not true. So since you posted about West and Amanda not being exclusive, I have tea. West was in Chicago for St. Patty's Day, and I was randomly in an elevator with him and another random girl at like 9 p.m.-ish. They were cozy, and she grabbed his arm. I didn't see them hook up, but definitely looked not great if I were Amanda. Building is in River North, and we got off at the same floor as them on floor 14. Okay, that's another one. And then let's see, there was more. Okay, more West T. He was quote unquote exclusive. Okay, so this is the person who's the 2-year relationship. Okay, so apparently he was dating this girl for 2 years. I'm so sorry if I'm not pronouncing her name wrong. It's spelled Meija. So I don't know if it's Maya or Meja, but the friend he shouted out on Watch What Happens Live. So I remember that. I obviously don't remember how to pronounce her name, but I should go back and look. But he shouted her out on Watch What Happens Live because she's the one who made the horsehair tie that everybody made fun of that he was wearing when he made it so obvious he was hooking up with Amanda when Andy asked. They were together for a year, and she found out a few days ago that he was with Amanda. So again, I don't know if it's a year or 2 years, but they were together. Okay. And then somebody else wrote in, oh yeah, keeps going. Not only was West spotted hooking up with whomever the last couple weekends, he got into a public fight with a brunette at 82 Stanton, and she ran after him. I know her handle. She was just in his BWW ad a week ago. On top of that, Sierra and one of his situationships, and then it's blocked out. Please block that out if posted because she doesn't deserve to be blasted. Followed each other. She liked one of her posts, then unfollowed, presumably to exchange information and timelines most likely. He most likely was hooking up with all of them at the same time, upwards 2 besides Amanda and Sierra that I know of. Okay, so now we've got Amanda, Sierra, and at least 2 others. Okay. Then Anon, I heard from a very reliable source that West has had a girlfriend for a while now, even way back when he was with Sierra. Okay, so that would be that same one with the horsehair tie who it seems like he's been stringing along all this time. Like, maybe they weren't like exclusive, but they were clearly like dating, acting like boyfriend and girlfriend. He was probably, convincing her that the stuff with Sierra's is all for the show and blah, blah, blah. And the girl just sort of puts up with him and other girls because there you go. Because he tells her it's just for the show. Yeah, I could see that. And, a lot of these girls, like they're like, we need to stop doing this. Women everywhere is like, he's going to change for me, or I'm going to be the special one. I mean, a lot of us go through that phase when we're in our 20s and we believe that, and then we grow up and we know better. I mean, that's kind of what makes Amanda such a sad situation. It's like you're in your 30s and you're still thinking that. Not sure if they are still together, but I was told about his girlfriend back in December. Okay. And I mean, so this kind of went like beyond Dumois, like it was on page 6. And page 6 was saying West and was reportedly in an exclusive relationship with Meja Moreno as recently as last week when his romance was exposed and circulated. Okay. And then, according to page 6, after being caught making out with Betula, Wilson allegedly came clean to her. He and Betula have since gone public. Yeah. So people have said that him and this girl broke up like a week or so ago because she found out about him and Amanda. And I guess she was like, I don't know, I guess she put up with the Sierra thing. And she's like, okay, now you're with another cast member. Like, it's not just for the show. And she was probably like, fuck this guy, which again, I wish she had realized sooner, but whatever, there's nothing we can do. But yeah, so it seems like that. And then there's like a couple other situationships that we've heard about, like the ones that I was just reading to you. And then there was what was the other one that I heard about? Oh, yeah. There was another one who sent a DM to Dumois and said, Anon, please. West and I were sending each other DMs this past summer. Met up with him in September. He had a whole crew of girls around him, too, and left with a chick covered in tattoos, which I think that would be the girlfriend, because she does have tattoos, I believe. Meanwhile, on Summer House this season, he's acting like he's still into Sierra. He's so trash. Obviously, this has nothing to do with the Amanda timeline, but clearly he has never had good intentions with Sierra. Yeah, clearly. And then we have other people writing in saying, like, somebody saying they literally saw West and Amanda making out at his apartment 2 Saturdays ago. They're a neighbor of West, like just absolute insanity. It also kind of makes me feel like, I don't know, it makes me feel like Dumois is like holding a lot back. So just saying. Now let's get into like the really big betrayal is that apparently Sierra and West hooked up just weeks before this whole reveal, which is crazy. So that means that he has been stringing Sierra along for what, 2.5 years? Which, like, oh, Sierra, okay. Here's the silver lining of this situation is that she will be now done with West. I hope. If she's not, she needs serious therapy. But I hope she will be done with him. Cut, done, gone. Okay. This like, cause like, how can you look at him the same after this? Like I can understand in a world why the door was not completely closed to West before and why she was still kind of falling for his advances and manipulation. I could see it, but now, like, I mean, like the curtain is fully open, right? But the fact that like he was still trying to like kind of see her and date her for the last few months, and he was also hooking up with Amanda is absolute insanity. So reportedly they hooked up like just a few weeks ago, which is crazy. And Sierra didn't know anything about Amanda, the source says. Okay, this is to page 6. Another source told them that Sierra and West last hooked up mid to late February. Oh my God, that is way too recent. Okay. Um, and a third person claimed that the former couple were rekindling and seeing if it would work again recently. And a fourth insider close to Wes insists the allegations he was hooking up with Miller are not true. I'm going to believe the source connected to Sierra. Sorry. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, Sierra's going to tell us the truth at the reunion. So Wes can put out as many, him and his friends and his little camp can put out as many, what's it called? Quotes and stories and anonymous tips as they want. It's really like not going to matter. Okay. And speaking of them putting out stuff, there have been some stories going around about like Sierra hiring a PI and how she discovered all this and blah, blah, blah. So there was this story on TMZ. Summer House Sierra discovered video of Wes and Amanda before they confirmed romance. So it said Sierra uncovered a video of Amanda and Wes before their shocking hookup announcement. Sources close to the situation tell TMZ the Summer House star obtained a video allegedly showing Amanda and Wes being intimate in his apartment, something that left her upset. We're told neither Amanda nor Wes knew they were being recorded. One source tells us Amanda sent Sierra a text Monday afternoon saying she never meant to hurt her. We're told Amanda also said she wanted to sort out her feelings about Wes before discussing the romance with her friend. As TMZ previously reported, Amanda and Wes confirmed their romance, blah, blah, blah. So then this tip to Dumois, just to kind of in partnership with that, said Sierra suspected something was going on between Wes and Amanda several weeks before the news of their connection dropped. Sierra checked Amanda's location one morning and saw she was at Wes' apartment during very early morning hours. She asked Amanda what was going on. Amanda didn't reply until 15 hours later with, "We're just friends." Sierra hired a private investigator who was unable to come up with anything on Amanda due to Amanda traveling. Sierra messages a blogger who claims to have a video of Amanda naked in Wes' apartment, but the blogger won't send Sierra the video for obvious reasons. Sierra asked the blogger to meet up with her so she can at least see the proof with her own eyes, and lo and behold, it's true. Apparently, Sierra, Paige, and Hannah will never be friends with Amanda again. Okay, I'm not believing that. Like, I'm not saying that it's not possible that someone, here's what I think happened. I think someone who Sierra trusts saw Amanda and Wes together and told Sierra, and that was like proof enough for her. Like someone she trusts and she's close with. Let's just pretend it was Mia. I don't think it was Mia, but let's just pretend someone like Mia or that degree of closeness, okay, sees them together and is like, okay, this is true. And Sierra's like, this is true, and then maybe Sierra confronts her, sends her a text. This person told me this. I also saw your location. Like, what the fuck? Like, there could be partial truth to this. Do I think that Sierra hired a private investigator? Absolutely not. Do I think that Sierra obtained an illegal, like, revenge porn against the law type of video? No, I don't. I think that is coming. Sorry, this makes me sound absolutely crazy, but I do believe this. I think that is from Amanda and Wes camp. I think they are trying to put negative stories out there that make them look more like victims, right? This is just like, I mean, that actually happened with Scandival, but they are trying to make themselves get some semblance of sympathy with the whole mental health thing. And now it's with like, oh, we're victims of people like spying on us and recording us illegally without our consent, etc. Like, it's just, yeah, like that's what I think is happening. And then like they're not saying that's like it's Sierra's fault, but like saying she hired a private eye, like it makes her sound like a psycho. Like they're trying to put a bad spin on her, and I'm not going to fall for it. Sorry. Now, another person who's having to answer questions in regards to this situation is Jesse Solomon. Because a lot of people are like, is he the Schwartz in the situation? How much did he know, etc. So, which it's like, Jesse's like posting his music, like he's trying to capitalize off of it, which whatever, I don't even care. They all kind of do that. But somebody posted, I just need to know if Jesse was the Schwartz to Wes Sandoval or not. Okay. So Jesse responds and says, I heard the rumors, but they were denied to me multiple times. Okay. Which when I first saw that, I was like, yeah, I could see that because I actually have always thought that West like hates Jesse. I'm not going to lie. Like I actually think they liked each other the very first season and they kind of bonded over being the two newbies. But I think the second that West like got with Sierra and all that kind of and West became like, even though Wes was like kind of like a villain because of how he hurt her, I do also think that he generally has gotten kind of like more attention than Wes. And I think there was some competition. Like you remember when Lexi was saying how Jesse was always complaining about like, I know I need to get more like followers than West and blah, blah, blah. And how like Jesse always wanted to like win over him. Like there was the kind of like this competition. And then this season, Wes just seems like he really hates Jesse. Like with the whole like Jesse asking about making out with Sierra. Like I feel like Jesse was doing that to piss West off. Maybe because he knew about the Amanda thing, maybe not. So I don't know. Like I don't think West would tell him in a like help me hide it, conspire with me to like throw people off the scent the way that Schwartz and Sandoval did because they were so close. But I could see Jesse just knowing by being around them and being like, yeah, I see what you guys are doing, and just not getting involved or not like stepping in, like kind of being a bystander. Like he probably should have stepped in and told Sierra. So, he's guilty in that sense. And instead of like doing the right thing, he was instead just kind of using it to kind of like fuck with West by being like, so what if I made out with Sierra? Like, I think that was kind of his way of like messing with him. Similar to Schwartz. Schwartz did mess with Sandoval a few times. Like, you could tell he was getting sick of it. But I don't think it's an identical situation. Again, I'm not saying that Jesse's like innocent or anything like that, because I'm not a fan of him at all. But somebody did again write into Dumois and said, overheard Jesse in New York City last week going off about Amanda sleeping over at West's house and denying it, afraid she's going to have a Raquel arc here. So this email was received on March 28th. And Dumois says she didn't publish it because it was anonymously submitted. Aren't they all anonymously submitted? Oh, I guess they don't submit it anonymously, but they ask to be anonymous. I'm assuming that's how it goes. So yeah. So it does seem that Jesse has I don't know how, like, if he's like, people are suspecting he's known since last summer based on some of the behaviors this season. But I think he's at least known for like a few months. Like maybe not, like if he hasn't, it maybe he's known since like November or December. Okay. Or like more recently. But I think he's probably known since since last summer. I do. Again, I don't know if it's like on him or his responsibility or something, to like tell everyone or make it public. Like, I do think that like if he was really a good friend to Sierra, he would tell her, but I don't think he is. I've never seen him as being a true friend to her. So to me, it's like not like surprising that he would know and just like be pissed off about it on his own or secretly or whatever. Now, he has replied to a couple messages. He was posting music and somebody was like, prove you weren't involved and then maybe we will stream the music. And he says, I've got receipts. And then he said, my heart is with Sierra and Kyle and Carl, as a joke because of like the Carl's a mess thing. So yeah, so who knows? I guess it could be. Now, a lot of Bravo Lebs are sending out their support. Lisa Rinna posted Team Sierra. Boston Rob posted. Gertie also, like people from outside, like the Summer House world. And also Lindsay and Kristen Doty shared like a picture of them with like sunglasses and hats on, like kind of looking detective-y, walking, saying that they were kind of on her side. John Hamm, he was on Watch What Happens Live, and oh my God, it was so funny watching his face, like him being like Team Sierra, like he was kind of like, I'm not saying he was lying. I think he is Team Sierra, but I think he pretends he cares more about these shows than he does, just for the sake of like Andy and like to be funny and all that kind of stuff. And Sierra had actually interviewed him on the red carpet, like when these rumors were flying, and she was like, how are you? And he's like, how are you? And she's like, I'm good. And then she looks at the camera and she's like, well, I've been better. So they did acknowledge that on Watch What Happens Live. And he was like, yeah, he's like, I mean, I didn't know for sure at the time or anything like that. And like, and Andy talks about, and I mean, this is probably part of the reason that they had to confirm this. Because Andy was talking about on Watch What Happens Live how TMZ showed up to his kids' school to ask about this. So I think that's why he was kind of like, he probably like, Zaddy probably called them, put on his boss tone and was like, you two assholes need to make a statement because these guys are at my kid's school trying to get information. Like, I mean, they could still do that, but even after it's confirmed, but I'm just saying. Okay. Now, reportedly, Amanda is, after all the like her mental health, she's fragile. Now it's like a new story. I'll be in the house for Summer House reunion. And I was like, okay, it feels like she tried to do the like fragile, like white woman tears thing, and then it didn't work. So now she's doing the like, I'm tough and I'm going to stand up. Like, I don't know. That's just, That's how I see the PR spin. Okay. So sources with direct knowledge tell TMZ that um, the rumors that Amanda won't attend the taping are total BS. The star fully intends to show up. Our sources say she's ready to face the cast and the producers head on, and she's going to answer whatever questions come her way. It's no doubt been a tough stretch for Amanda, but we're told she's hanging in there and taking it all day by day. Well, that's sure a shift from the last stories we heard. Like that's what just makes me think that these when they people get into these scandals, they really just try like whatever kind of thing that they can, like every sort of like strategy, every sort of PR playbook point that they can. And that's it. Like that's really what it comes down to. So that's why like you have to take everything with a grain of salt. These people aren't genuine. I mean, I'm not saying like all of them or that they're not genuine all the time, but like you don't really know them. Like we can put together as much clues, etc., as we want, but a lot of people like project personalities and stuff, and like and that was one of the things that drove me nuts about the like Amanda would never. It's like, how do you know? And again, like I believed it, but I was also willing to say it could be a rumor, but it's not like a complete impossibility, right? And you can only judge people on their actions, and we only see a little bit of their actions. But if you take their actions and look at them objectively, really, we all should have seen this coming. Sorry. But Amanda's actions have shown not her words, not her boys lie sweatshirt, not her pretending and saying, I'm a girl's girl over and over again. Her actual actions on the show are what show that she would do this. That's all I'm going to say. If you want to take the time to go back and watch, Godspeed. So apparently she is coming to the reunion, which she should be. I mean, she needs to face the music, and it's going to be even worse for her if she doesn't show up. So I do think that it is important for her to show up to the reunion, quite frankly. Oh yeah, and the other thing that drove me crazy was that interview where Amanda, with Marie Claire or whatever, where Amanda, or I can't even remember who it was with, but whatever, she said, "Oh, I'm not touching any of my cast members," and people were like, "She said she wouldn't." So no one's ever lied. She lied. She's a liar, lying face who lies. Like it's like, why do you believe everything that a reality TV celebrity, Bravo celebrity says in an interview? Are we take everything they say at face value? Like you've never heard of somebody lying before? Like I like the amount of people wearing rose-colored glasses out there. It's actually astonishing to me. It's like I think it's pretty wild. Okay, sorry, that was a side rant. So, since this whole thing happened, Amanda has been spotted for the first time in New York City. It seems like she's doing the dog exchange with Kyle. They're doing kind of like a side hug. And Amanda's holding a bouquet of flowers. Did Kyle give those to her? I should have probably read it beforehand, guys. Sorry, there was just so much information. You got to like give me some grace with that. Anyways, one thing that people did notice though is that she is decked out in West's clothing. So, and not just an assumption. People actually pulled up the pictures of West, like literally West striped shirt, West's leather jacket, West Elwood hat, and there are pictures of him confirmed wearing all of these things. So, yeah, that's pretty crazy. I can't. Like, Amanda, why? Why? Like, did she think they wouldn't get pictured? Like, I don't know. She's also wearing like sweatpants with literal stains on them. Like, she looks a mess. Again, she looks a mess on purpose because she's trying to, like, in case they do get pictures, get some sympathy. But, like, have they not realized what internet sleuths can do? We're going to know you're wearing his striped shirt. We're going to know you're wearing his Elmwood hat. Like we're gonna realize. Just put your own clothes on. Like no one's gonna like not recognize you. It's just so stupid. Um, it's crazy. Okay. Now, I have also heard something else, and I really don't know if this is true. Okay. So it's not confirmed. So I just want to say that. Okay. But apparently, and again, allegedly, apparently, word on the street, and this is like a whole new angle to this. Okay. It is being said that Paige had an issue with Amanda prior to this, and that when all this happened, she told Sierra about it, that there were a couple different occasions where Paige thought Amanda was too touchy with Craig. Okay, example, they were out to dinner. She came back from the bathroom and they were holding hands under the table. So apparently, Paige and Amanda were not as close as they used to be. And now, I guess because of this, source says that they are totally done. Okay. And then I saw on, I think it was on Face Reality 16, there's a still like a screenshot of an episode of Summer House. I think it's the one where Sierra is confronting Danielle and Lindsay about the whole Austin situation. And you can see that Craig and Amanda are holding hands under the table. And I can't remember like who said like, oh, it was just because it was a tense moment. It was like, oh my God, oh my God. But yeah, I mean, that's weird. Like that is weird. I don't care if it's a tense moment. I don't care if they're friends. Like I don't care about any of that. And I'm sorry, but like we've all been friends with that girl. We've all been friends with the Amanda. Some of us still are, and maybe just haven't broken it off yet or distanced ourselves yet. But I definitely have been, it was really in my 20s. I haven't been friends with any Amandas since like 30 and beyond because, you get older and you realize and you distance yourself because like, why do you want to be around that? Like, you know, you realize like the man-centeredness, the like that you just can't trust this person, that they'll throw you under the bus, like, and not just with like guys, like with other situations too, right? But like, and then if you ever say anything to them like that made me uncomfortable, then they're like, oh my God, you're such like a crazy jealous person, no one wants your husband, no one wants your boyfriend, and like they'll give you that response. And then you feel like an idiot, so it's like you can't really say anything and they're not technically doing anything wrong, but it's like they're just stepping over the line, just a little bit over the line, enough it makes you a bit uncomfortable. And hopefully you break off with the guy who with your boyfriend or whoever is taking part in it as well, because you realize that like they should also not be like they both are being inappropriate. So it's just like, we've all been friends with these girls. We have. Okay. And that's why like as much as I'm not a huge Paige fan, but I don't think that Paige is and I don't think Paige is the biggest girl's girl, but I don't think that she is on the same level as Amanda. And I don't think her and Amanda are the same exact type. Like they're still individuals. They're a little bit like, I think Amanda is the type that wants like every guy to want her. And she wants the attention of every guy. Case in point, just wait for next week's episode because she's going to be, making Ben's girlfriend feel uncomfortable, etc. The signs were there, right? Whereas I think Paige does not like, I think Paige is more confident in the sense that like she knows who she is. She knows she's hot. I don't think that she needs like every guy to want her and to give her that approval. That being said, I do think that she is more comfortable in a relationship. Like she is a bit of a relationship jumper. Like I don't think that she was single. Like I think after she broke up with Craig, I think she was already with Joe D'Amelio. That's just my opinion. Again, I don't have hard evidence, but I do believe Joe D'Amelio's ex. But I do think that she sucks in that way. But I think that she is at least a good friend. And I don't think that she needs like every guy to like validate her. Whereas Amanda seems like she needs every guy to validate her, and she's also a bad friend. So there are some differences between the two of them. So yeah, Amanda has moved into first place. Okay. You made me like Paige or you made me dislike Paige a little less, Amanda. There's a feat. Okay. So yeah. So if that whole like Craig thing is true, I mean, that's craziness. And I mean, people have pulled up this clip from the reunion from the year that like Sierra and Paige went in on West for what he did to Sierra. And then when the cameras go down, you see like Paige comforting Sierra, and then you see Amanda go over to comfort West and like to tell him that he did okay and not to worry about it. And people are like, see, like there's Amanda again, like always kind of choosing the guy's side. And I mean, it's true. It is like this was like the easiest situation to take the woman's side. And Amanda still, like, she did it in theory, but she didn't do it as hard as she should have, you know? So it's like, you know, I can somewhat forgive if you're not a girl's girl, but you're not even a good friend to the girls who you say you like and who are your closest people. And that is insane. Like, that is like just next level insane. Okay. Um, I think that's about it. I think I have covered pretty much every significant. There's also like, listen, I could give you even more, like every single spotting of Amanda and Wes together that have accumulated over the last few days. People coming out with, yeah, I saw them at this restaurant, I saw them here, I saw them there. There's a ton of that. But I mean, listen, it's confirmed. I don't think we need to go into all that. And it's been over 2 hours and it's Easter weekend. And I do have a daughter. So I do have a family and a daughter. And I do need to do some Easter stuff and pay attention to them. Okay. And they don't even know who West, Sierra, or Amanda are. I don't know if that makes them lucky or unlucky. I think lucky, probably. Okay. So let's wrap up there, and I will be back next week, and I promise I will catch up on the regular Bravo news, as in all the other stuff as well, because I know, you know, a lot of you listen for the other shows also. I do too. I love the other shows. You know, they all deserve attention, but I just don't have all the time in the world, but I'll be back for it, okay? Anyways, you are now in the know for everything Scamanda slash Midwest related. Enjoy your long weekend, everyone. I hope you have a fantastic Easter if you celebrate that. And just, you know, I hope you enjoy those extra days off and that you enjoyed these episodes. Thank you so much. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, join my Patreon for ad-free episodes, all that stuff. Love you guys. Bye.